Gentlemen, let's begin with a look at the front pages of the dailies. And the Daily Nation says, released by whom after more than 6 months since a spike in enforced disappearances, with at least 6 young Kenyans abducted in December alone. The DCI have little to show in terms of investigation. 5 of them were released yesterday in a seemingly coordinated manner in locations across the country, weeks after Police Chief Douglas Kanja said his officers had nothing to do with the abductions. On the front page of the Standard, queries as captivity horror tales emerge as dumbstruck and traumatized families yesterday reunited with their missing kin who had been away for 14 days. Coming to you first, Nelson Havi, advocate. This certainly, given the series of abductions that have happened and the accounts by the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, it's a leap in the direction of darkness, is it?
It is indeed a leap in the direction of darkness. A formidable indictment against the Kenya Kwanza administration. We cannot have an administration that does not protect the sanctity of life. And when queried on the whereabouts of Kenyans who are missing, the pronouncement that comes from the echelon of leadership of the country pronounces that it is not aware of what is happening. If then the top organ of management of a country is not aware of what's happening, then who is aware of what is happening? That is the conundrum that we face right now. There is a breakdown. There's a total failure of administration in this country. And what happened yesterday should not be celebrated in the form of giving credit to the government. No. I saw clarion calls that free at last. Free from what? We've not been fighting for independence. We've not been fighting for second liberation. We have a working constitution with a Bill of Rights that guarantees the sanctity of life, the safety of all individuals. We should never celebrate this nonsense because they ought not to have been abducted in the first place. So that the National Police Service, the DCI, should not thrive in that statement they released yesterday, that they are now free and with their family. Free from what? What offense had they committed? Which court had they been arraigned? Which penitentiary had they been subjected to for imprisonment for them to be freed? No. Somebody has to be held accountable. And it's for that reason, therefore, that we've said the current cabinet secretary in charge of Interior and the former cabinet secretary in charge of Interior, that is Kipchumba Murkomen and Kindiki Kithure, must be held accountable. We know in the National Assembly, their colleagues will not want to hold them accountable because they have acquiesced, they have countenanced their actions. But these two, being advocates of the High Court of Kenya, are answerable to us as their peers through the Law Society of Kenya. And for that reason, therefore, we are very deliberate. We'll move a motion at the annual general meeting of the lawyers, which will be held in the month of March, to remove the two. And any other individuals within this government who will come to the conclusion have let us down, they have breached their oath as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya.
Okay, and in seeking those remedial measures then, what's the accusation on the two that you have singled out?
An advocate swears to uphold the rule of law. A cabinet secretary swears to uphold the Constitution. These two individuals are advocates. They're supposed to uphold the rule of law. The rule of law, insofar as the Bill of Rights is concerned, is the protection of life. Lives have been lost during their watch. People have been kidnapped and detained during their watch. And what do they say? They say they are unaware of what is happening. It is not the government that is responsible for these abductions and killings. The question therefore begs, if the government does not know the whereabouts of a Kenyan for 31 days, for 15 days, then who will know? They hold the greatest responsibility so far as this issue is concerned. More so because they are advocates of the High Court of Kenya. We must hold them accountable.